Alright, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to another Playmates Godzilla x Kong the New Empire toy review. Today we'll be looking at our first Godzilla. This is a new figure, but it is Godzilla in his original state before he turns pink. This is Godzilla with the Heat Ray. And I'm gonna answer this question right off the bat. A lot of people are gonna say, isn't this a remake of the Godzilla vs. Kong Heat Ray Godzilla? No, it is not. I have the original mold right here, which we're gonna make a proper comparison afterwards once we take it out of its package. But this is a remake. This is a new model. Let's look at the package first before we open this up. So, here is of course the Kong and Godzilla logo, or image, graphic, call it what you will. Godzilla with Heat Ray, or if you want to read in French, Godzilla avec rayon de chaleur. There's this, and there's this. You know, any useful information you might find is including the assembly process. And in the back, here it is. Obviously, I'm covering up that spoiler monster, as I've been doing with everything else. But here is the list of the other figures. There you go. So far, we've covered Zuko and Kong. So right now, we're doing this Godzilla. And we're gonna go through them all pretty quickly. And then, here's some of the text up here. So obviously the movie synopsis is right up here. You may pause the video at any point to, read it. I'm not going to waste my time reading this out, but I will read the text here for this specific figure. Harness the awesome power of Godzilla's thunderous roar and devastating tail swipe as the king of the monsters battles other titans to maintain his rule. And then here's just an image of what Godzilla looks like in the back with a hollow earth background. Other than that, there's nothing much else to show off for the package, so why don't we get on with the unboxing and taking this guy out of the package. Let's do it. Alright, that took 6 minutes to unbox it fully. Not as bad as Kong. I think this one actually took much quicker. However, the tail did take a while to put back on. That is something that is just continuous throughout all the Godzilla figures that Playmates has put out, is that the tail is incredibly hard to put on. You have to put a lot of strength. This is a much better Godzilla, because we gotta look at this as just any evolved version, as in an improvement from the original one from Godzilla vs. Kong. Comparing the original one here to the evolved Godzilla, pink one, is that he's also a lot skinnier when he's evolved. They kept his original shape here with his original look. This is the big daunting question. Is this a complete remake? And I've already said many times, no, it is not. And that's why I brought out the original one here. So this is the original Godzilla with Heat Ray. This is also 6 inches, but as we put them side by side, you can start to see the differences. The color scheme is still the same. They have kept the black and blue color scheme, but the biggest difference comes within the dorsal plate. As you can see with the original one, we have a transparent blue. They're more clear, see-through, and almost white at the very tip of it. As for our new one here, they stuck to a solid fade, if you will, because it's also kind of fading into gray at the top. Is this a good idea? I personally think absolutely, because it just feels more realistic. It gives a way more realistic feel. This is not bad. It does feel like he's powering up, about to fire an atomic breath, but I like the more realistic feel this one gives. Because if I can get the camera to focus up, you can really see the tips here. You can see like the gray where it comes in. That is really good. And then it just fades down and continues all the way towards the tail. Great colors going on here with the tail all the way up to the end. So they've really improved with the fade of colors going on here, and I think they've, should really carry that forward if they're going to make more of these original Godzilla, not pink Godzilla. Obviously, the biggest difference is the the dorsal plates, but there's also the posability. As you can see, the new Godzilla here is kind of a different pose compared to this one. It feels like this one is just more he's standing in one spot, whereas our new one here just feels like he's on the move. He's walking towards another Titan, or just walking around. Godzilla can go on a little stroll, So this also feels like a combination with the supercharged Godzilla, where he's kind of in this pose. Obviously, he's facing upwards. So this has completely improved. Honestly, I like the new dorsal plates here. This looks a lot better. And also something that they've kept, obviously I mentioned this at the beginning of the review, is that there is the battle damage. All the new figures don't have battle damages, except this one. I would say this one is a new figure. So this is the one new figure that they respected and kept the battle damage. Personally, I don't really like the battle damages. I don't really care about it much. It's just a attempt to add a play feature to the figure. And, it just gets annoying to attach that piece of skin onto it. That's why I don't peel it off anyways. And I just leave it there because I don't really think much of the battle damages. To me, they're not that much important. Maybe to someone playing with them, like a little kid playing with these figures, they want to, show that the figure, that Godzilla's hurt or something. They're like, and they can remove the battle damage. There you go. There's some playability to it, but me personally, I don't really care about the battle damages. I'm glad Playmates has decided to cut them for the new figures, new characters, and I guess this one is like, in case you missed the original Heat Ray Godzilla, you can buy this one. I guess this is what the idea of re-releasing a figure like this. It's not really a re-release. It's technically a new figure, so I can't really say a re-release. Now, there is articulation. Lots of articulation too. More than the original one, actually. For starters, we have the tail, of course. The tail is on a ball socket. You can't move too much, but you can always move all the way 360 like this. Warm up the ball socket so it's not so stiff as of next time. But the tail is stuck like this position. It's kind of touching the ground, but then it sort of dips its way back up here, which I think looks cool. When you put it on display, this definitely looks pretty cool. So I think it's not a problem. For me personally, it adds more to the display feature of it. Other play features, of course, there is the legs. The legs can articulate, as well as the feet. Big improvement here. The feet can articulate. The original ones didn't. Maybe a little bit, but very, very subtle. Here, there's a lot of range of movement. You can swivel the feet left and right without a sweat. Unfortunately, you cannot move the knees though, but that's the nature of what Godzilla is. That's alright. You can move his hands, of course. His arms, sorry, not his hands. He can't move his hands. He can move his arms, but not his hands, unfortunately. And then finally, you can move the mouth. Not the head. The head is kind of tight here, so I wouldn't advise you attempting to use force to just leave it like that. But you can move the head. Sorry, you can open and close the mouth. There you go. And that's very crucial because obviously that's how you're going to be able to insert the heat ray piece, the atomic breath. So let me quickly show you the atomic breath. It's a completely new mold. It is not a remake. This is a completely new mold. It looks shorter, doesn't have a base. It just looks like he's just firing this into the air. So here is the original, the older heat ray. So there's a little comparison. As you can see, the color of the blue is definitely different. The new one here is a more darker blue. Older one's more of the lighter blue. So honestly speaking, I very much like the new one here a lot better. And it actually attaches a lot better. The old ones, they tend to fall off his mouth quite quickly if you move him too easily. Here, there's like a good attachment point where you stick it on. There you go. That's what it looks like. It actually looks pretty solid on him. Overall, I think this Godzilla is perfect. For anyone who weren't able to buy this one back then, or didn't think of getting this one back then, there you go. You have like a remake here. It's not a re-release, it's a remake. And this is a perfect time for you to get it. And honestly, I think this looks a lot better than the original. It's a big, big step up. I personally much like the dorsal plates and what they look like here. Compared to the original transparent dorsal plates, I just think I want more of that realistic look, and this figure was able to deliver it. So 8 out of 10 is what I'll give this figure. Let me know in the comment section of what you think of this Godzilla figure. Do you think this is a good remake of the original one, or Do you think this is just Playmates' attempt at adding another figure to make some money? I think this is a perfect remake. Just perfect for anyone who missed the original Godzilla and doesn't want a pink Godzilla. This is a very great option. And if you just want the original one, there you go. There is an option. So, that's it for this review. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more. And, of course, after this Godzilla, we're gonna do the evolved Godzilla. If you're looking forward to that one, make sure to turn on the notifications so the second it comes out, you won't miss it. As for now, that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.